The most important things that you can consider when picking an air purifier. Guys, awesome for tuning in. Today I'm going to look at a very unique Sharp air purifier that's made in Japan. Very nice air purifier indeed. And what can you consider when picking an air purifier? Obviously, there are a variety of factors. A lot of people know the problem that come springtime, you have this allergy. Some people, they react to the plants in springtime, or you just maybe live in an urban environment. I have tested both air purifiers without humidifying function, and I have tested air purifiers with humidifying function and learned some interesting things along the way. This is what I'm going to share with you today because, and yes, in a sense, it's a little bit nerdy or tech geeky to have products like this. I personally know that from having studied in Japan for a year, and these air purifiers always something very memorable. Let me quickly switch this on for you guys here. You see it has a brightness sensor also, so it can, if you go to sleep, it can go into a sleep mode where it's extra quiet. You see that opening came up and you have these really nicely made light features. This air purifier is really good. It can detect both dust and odors. Switch over here, you see the humidity, the temperature, guys, this is in Celsius. In the US that would be Fahrenheit, and the wattage. You have a bunch of features that you can switch through. The intensity, I like the automatic mode, so depending on what he detects, the air purifier detects, it regulates everything automatically, and the air that comes out is really nice, precisely because it has the humidifying function. For me, having used this over time, obviously it will not completely relieve you from having to wipe some dust in your room. It's not sucking in everything, but I felt for people especially who have an allergy in springtime, because of the Plasmacluster, it's my subjective impression that it filters out the air. Obviously, then out comes the clean air, but everything it doesn't filter, I presume because of the Plasmacluster, I feel really, since I'm having this air purifier, that the dust that gets not filtered out by the air purifier, it just settles much quicker than it used before. And that can also be a benefit. And you just filter a portion here, the rest just settles to the ground and you vacuum it off. So for someone with an allergy, that's a big plus point. And I also have to say, depending on how you look at it, it could also be a critique point. Obviously, I think no matter which air purifier you have, it's not going to be relieving you 100% from having to wipe dust so that settles to the ground. So now it has detected something. You can see here, that's the particles, and if it would detect an odor, that would be next to it. And then the color also shifts, and depending on the intensity, it regulates the airflow. And you see these water drops, that's the humidifying function. So these air purifiers, while they maybe not 100% cure all, the air really gets better, and the humidifying function makes the air really nice. But there is one interesting drawback that I found over time, so let's look at this next. And one thing I haven't mentioned yet, obviously you can very comfortably roll this around. So if you have to adjust the place a little bit, that's very convenient. There's also the water tank. So let's quickly turn this around and have a look at the water tank. That's right here, and depending whether you have very dry air, it goes through the water also relatively quickly. So you want to put some nice, refill the water from time to time. Very important. If you want to do anything with the water, always unplug the air purifier first, very important. And after it's unplugged, you can remove the tank, very easy here, just push it down and the water tank comes right out. This top part you can remove and then refill this tank. Then there's a bottom tray that you also can pull out, where there's this water wheel. So let me quickly show you a close-up shot. Terrific. Right here we have the individual parts. This water wheel that absorbs the water. So the tank is upside down. Usually if it's installed, goes into that tray, and that water wheel spins in the tray, and thereby the water gets dispersed on this fabric material that also has something that absorbs the moisture, and then the air flows through, and it gets, you have really nice air coming out of the air purifier. And the air purifier with humidifying function, the air is just superior versus without a humidifier function, but that comes at a cost, which I'm going to explain to you in a second. This is the back panel. You can really remove this. This is like a pre-filter. Very important if you have a pre-filter. You can always look at it. If there is stuff collecting on the pre-filter, take the pre-filter off and clean it. Because if there's lots of coarse dust on the pre-filter, it will slow down the airflow rate, and you will always want to maintain this as clean as possible so that you have a big airflow rate through the machine. The more air flows through, the less resistance there is, the more airflow is through, so you get a higher clean air delivery rate. This is a deodorization filter, and this is the actual HEPA filter. As you can see, I've turned this upside down recently. Before it was in like this, and the main portion gets sucked in through here, and you see it's already darker, and that's the brighter part. So the only downside I found with these Sharp filters, I'm still looking for replacement filters. I couldn't find that. I would like to stock up on these. So the water wheel would be in here. The air would go through these stages, would be completely clean, and then would hit the humidifying filter. And very interesting, because this is a device that has the Plasmacluster technology. From what I've read, the Plasmacluster works better if there is humidity. So it really makes sense to combine the Plasmacluster with the humidification function. If I'm not mistaken, this is a Plasmacluster module, I think, in here that should be probably replaceable. I think the Plasmacluster will wear out at some point, but yeah, it's a little bit of an odd product to find that here in Europe for us. So if you're in the States or in another European country, please check this out. This is actually version 121, so a little bit unusual. I wish Sharp would be a little bit more aggressive and export these products. I know in Japan these are really, really affordable and have been sold for many, many years. Here you have the sensor for the particles. If you have fine particles in the air, you will also want to clean that, and then from time to time, and then reassemble it. Guys, this is the first showing you the air purifier. Now let's finally jump to the conclusion, because there's also one major drawback with this humidifying function, and I'm going to explain this to you now. So guys, conclusion time. My conclusion is this is the best air purifier that I have ever owned. And I've tested, let's say, this expensive, pretty upscale Coway before. That was already really good. But this is better because of the humidifying function and because of the Plasmacluster. However, there is one major downside to that machine. And guys, that's the cleaning. If you have an air purifier with humidifying function, at least in my case, I strongly believe you need pure citric acid, and you need lots of it, because from testing, I really know that over time, as soon as you deal with water, I mean, tap water is not completely 100% sterile. If you, for some reason, have bacteria or something in the tap water, that at some point can collect in here, and then you have an air purifier with a humidifying element in there that's not particularly clean. So I really think you have to, every 2 weeks, I check this, and every 2 weeks I use the citric acid to clean everything. And the tray, I'm just take some dishwasher detergent. So you really have to keep this thing clean and check it once more. If you're not sure, you can take out this blue water wheel, and you can perfectly use it without the function. There's a button on top, you just push it, and the water function is deactivated. You take out the parts, store it away somewhere, and you can use it like a regular air purifier just without the humidification function. So no harm done there. So guys, awesome for tuning in. Let me know what is your favorite air purifier, and I see you in the next video. Take care. And because you just watched my review, you might also be interested in comparing other products, such as this Kowei air purifier that I have using for many years, or for which you can also find the review on my channel page, among other air purifiers and a similar kind of gear. A lot of people have already subscribed. If you want, you can subscribe right now as well, because of the useful videos that I provide for you here. I wish you all the best, and I see you in the next video. Take care.